am I'm Cindy with an S. And I don't know, I thought we could hang out today a little bit. I don't really have a ton to say today. This is like my fourth take because I'm like, what do you have to say? What content do you have to offer people to actually, keep them entertained, make them feel good about spending time with you or improve their lives in some way? I don't really have an answer for that, but I have drunk slightly more of my coffee, so I'm a little less like blah and zombie-like. So there's that. I had a plan last night going to bed that I'd be like a little bit more intentional with my morning, and that I would get up and do some like qigong and stretching before my coffee even. I sort of half did that a little bit, and I wanted to do more, but like the shape of my apartment is kind of weird. So like I have this space here in the living room, which isn't terrible, but it's sort of like a small square. And then I have this space, like there's the front door, and it's kind of like this long hallway to the back of the house and like the two back bedrooms. It's like people ask me if I live in an apartment or in a house, and it's sort of hard to say. It's kind of both. There are at least 5 or 6 apartment units in here, but it's shaped like a house and it feels like a house, and they're kind of like the apartments are mirror image, and the upstairs and downstairs are sort of divided. We have the ground floor and the basement. One of my roommates lives down in the basement, and then me and the other one live in the back bedrooms, and this is the sort of common area. Anyway, I was thinking about showing you guys a couple Tai Chi moves. Not actually going through the form, but just like a couple of the moves and their names and stuff. Then maybe, I don't know, I might actually watch that Netflix that I keep threatening to do with you. See if they like suspend my account. So I have these like little children's playroom mats that I actually got from a neighbor who was moving, and they're pretty good for they basically have like the thickness and consistency of a yoga mat, and they're pretty good for basically I put them down here in front of the TV, and I will either put on YouTube or just be watching something on Netflix and just try to stay a little bit physical, doing some sit-ups and stuff. Or my buddy Marco, he loaned me a set of these dumbbells so that I'll just like stand in front of the TV and just like do curls sometimes. Actually, with these specifically, I want to do like arm raises, and I just have it set to like a really lightweight, and it's just so I feel slightly less lazy just watching TV. I don't actually watch TV that much, unless you count YouTube, which I lately, especially the shorts, I've been watching so many on my phone. It never used to be like this, but here we are. I use my foam roller a lot, actually. I got this from the dollar store, and it's been working all right. It's starting to crack. I think I'm a little bit too strong for it, or too heavy for it now. Or like I put too much weight, because I definitely have some stuff at the back which is stiff and unhappy. And so I've kind of been using it a lot lately. But let me whoop, show you. Steady. Hey, have you been drinking? Steady. You're cut off. What you can't see is that I'm trying to get this to balance on this like cat mat that my roommate is there, which, you know, when I say it out loud to you, does sound like an awfully stupid idea, yes. I want you to be able to see my feet, because feet work in Tai Chi is like pretty important. So, that's called cleansing breath. And I'm getting really like anxious and in my head right now, so I thought I would just like start us off with that one. You'd be amazed. People think I'm fine all the time, but I actually have anxiety all the time, and it'll either just come off as me being hyper or kind of a little more quiet and reserved, but I guess I don't even recognize it sometimes. Like, if I stop right now and get in touch with my own body and I'm honest with myself, I would have to say that, yeah, I'm feeling kind of anxious. I'm sort of like feeling it up in here. I'm tense. My thoughts aren't clear. I don't feel decisive. But I'm gonna do it anyway, which is like the title of my memoirs. No, just kidding. So, to change the topic completely, stand. Okay, well, I might as well go through it piece by piece. In most Tai Chi forms, they all start the same way. It's you start feet together, hands at your side. Then you connect with your right foot, have the weight in that, and you lift your left foot. You sort of peel, you want to like peel your foot off the floor, step it carefully like this. Every move should be in control and slow. You should be able to do it at any speed because you're totally in control. So you step it at shoulder width, you roll the foot down, feel balance between both feet. Your hands are at your side. This move is called lifting water. And you raise your arms to about shoulder height. But as my original Sifu Mary Herschel, taught me, it's like there's like a string connected to your wrists, and you just sort of let your arms float up. From here, you bring them down, and you sink, and you soften your knees and bend them just a little bit. And that's like pretty much the move, the opening move to all the Tai Chi forms I know or have ever heard of. It's like called commencement, I think. Or this is commencement, so what that should look like is exciting stuff, I know. Next, there's something that's called hold the ball. And with Tai Chi, talking about, well, it's like Tai Chi Chuan, but there is a lot of talk about Qi, the energy force, Qi meaning breath. It kind of has a lot of different meanings and names, but you've got like an energy ball, which you hold on the right and on the left. And that's kind of a consistent theme and something that I use to sort of visualize while going through the moves a lot. So here you do lift water, sink, and then you lift your right heel and then form the energy ball on the right. Now all of my weight's on the right, like I can do anything with this leg. Bring it in. And the first move is called, at least in Tai Chi, Yang style, 24 form, part the wild horse's mane. So I've got this energy ball here, and I like to imagine that I'm squishing it. So you step out with your heel, and you're turning your torso, squish the energy ball, serve tea to the queen, and pet the corgi on the other side. What that looks like in actual slow motion. Energy ball, step, roll, squish, serve, pet. The thing with Tai Chi, why they call it moving meditation, is because there's like 1,000 little joints, movements, even timed breathing and visualizations that you're supposed to do all simultaneously and like perfectly, in like perfect fluidity with each other. And it's sort of difficult to describe, especially to the beginner, because it's like, okay, well, you have to do your legs like this and your hands like that and your torso like this and your breathing like this, and also where you look, where your eyes go. You're supposed to like follow your hand, that hand, look down, follow that hand, where you shift your weight. So the learning curve, I'm not even doing the width of my feet properly, because you usually want to be in a bow stance. If you've ever done karate, you usually want to end up in a bow stance for a lot of the moves. Anyway, the reason it becomes a meditation is because your brain is going through all these like tiny variables trying to perfect them, and you don't have time to think about the things that are making you anxious. So a bow stance, you want a comfortable width. There's a couple different places where your feet are. So you got your width, the spacing between your front foot and your back foot laterally, and then you've got the spacing between your feet. No, this is laterally, this is linearly. So with bow stance, if the palms of my hands are my feet, you want like a comfortable linear space between them, and then kind of like two fists, minimum 2 fists, laterally away from each other. So they want to be a little bit away from each other in this direction, and then comfortably away from each other in this direction. And then, as with bow stance anyway, the front foot is facing forward, the back foot is at a 45-degree angle, turned slightly outward. And what this does is this actually gives you a ton of stability. Like when you're doing bow stance right, it's so solid. And that's part of also like, if your feet are too close together this way, you'll fall side to side quite easily, and making sure your foot is turned out. So good space this way, good space this way, and this foot is slightly turned out. You can sort of almost press outward with your feet like this, like a dog who doesn't want to have a bath, and really kind of feels like you're grabbing the floor with your feet and your legs, and just get really solid. So this is usually weight forward on the front leg, and there's, especially when you're pressing into the ground, it's hard to say where your weight is balanced, but if your knee is bent not too far over the toes or anything, it should be like a nice 90-degree situation. And then the back leg going up behind you torso straight, shoulders straight forward, hips straight forward, and yeah, just heel that back foot at like a 45-degree angle, which you can't really see, but it is, I promise. And then it's a nice solid bow stance. You can sink into it. It's hard to get pushed over. We use something called a twist step a lot to move in Tai Chi, which is kind of cool. Hold on, I kind of want to tilt this down just a little bit so you can see my feet. Not that I really want people looking at my feet, but seeing as how I'm here blathering on about it, I might as well show you properly. With the twist step, you step forward, roll onto your foot, and then you can adjust the back leg. Like if it's not in the right spot and you realize, oh, I'm not doing my bow stance properly, you just adjust it, bring the heel out, bring the toe out, get into that solid bow stance. From the bow stance, to do the twist step, you lean backwards, so you're putting your weight back onto the back foot. The front foot comes up on the heel, and originally it was pointing forward. Now it's going to roll on the heel into that 45-degree angle and roll down. And when you step, now it's going to become the back foot, and it will already be in the 45-degree position. And you bring the front foot forward and line that up nice and straight. And then you open that foot at 45-degree angle, lean back, open that foot at 45-degree angle, and step forward with this foot. But it's tiny in here, and I can't really show you. The next move after parting wild horse's mane is, drum roll please, so that I can remember what it's called. Yes, brush knee. So you're on one leg, you were in a bow stance. Frequently when you change moves, you bring it back in before you step out again to do the next move. So here, your arms out, heel, roll, and you bring the arm that's in front across your body, keeping your eyes focused on your right hand with your left hand, bringing it across your body, turn your torso, and like lean forward. So this arm sort of in a low block, this arm sort of in a, it's slightly more offensive. It's like out in front of you towards you, and then you're standing in your bow stance, and you have, what is this? The front hand kind of on center line in front of you, the non-dominant hand, at least because you do it symmetrically on both sides, down to your side, sort of blocking and connected with the structure of your torso. So like when you turn your torso, it's connected. And then twist step, open, lean forward, step the foot out, and whoop. It's just so hard to show you with this small amount of space. This side, got your foot in, foot out, roll, watch the hand, have the other hand come across the torso, then you switch arms, bring it in, step out, roll across the torso. What's next? Well, there's a move called play the lute, play the fiddle. I always learned it as being referred to as play the lute, but my current Sifu, who is great, he always calls it play the fiddle. And some people call it play the guitar, which is annoying to me as somebody who plays the guitar because it doesn't look like playing the guitar at all. But you are in your bow stance from whatever move you just came from. Let's say that it was brush knee. You do half step in, you go up on your heel, And then you have your two arms out in front of you in a defensive kind of posture along your center line, ready to like receive, fight. And as you can see, especially if I do it here, it's sort of, oh, I messed up line, sideways. Like, this is much more like, I guess, playing the fiddle, playing the violin. So playing the lute would be like this. Playing the guitar would be like this. Like, anyway, that's playing the lute. If I want to get really technical, one of the moves, especially in the 24 form that comes after playing the lute, is repulse monkey. And I think we were saying like, oh, why is it called repulse monkey? It's probably because, well, talking about monkey form in Shaolin or something, or a monkey coming and like attacking you, coming at you. With repulse monkey, you're moving backwards and you're throwing your hands backwards. So you're trying to like keep the monkey away from you, aka repulse the monkey. This one's got interesting footwork though. It's, you walk backwards, so you're basically putting yourself into that bow stance, but backwards every time. So let's say that we're here and play the lute. You open, you step back, like open your hands. Every time you're stepping back, your front foot will have been in a 45-degree angle, and you're gonna lift up onto the toe so that it's straight again. Slide it behind you, and it's actually gonna, even though it's going behind you, it's going to be, how can I say, at like that 90-degree straight angle, and the one that's in front is at a 45-degree angle. You're taking the weight off it, un-45-degreeing it, so you can slide it behind you and put it down. Like, it's kind of, it's the reverse of walking into the bow stance with twist step. But what that looks like, and the arms with repulse monkey, because you can do it also stationary, which I found sort of weird, but there it is you open your arms up to like a comfortable shoulder width. And I was always told, like, I wanted numbers, but I never got numbers. I mean, it might be like 46 degrees, 46.5 degrees. That's what somebody said once. But otherwise, my original Sifu, Mary, she always said it's just like a comfortable width apart. Not too big, not stretching too far, not too shallow. And put your arms out. You look at the backhand. It comes up, kind of almost brushes your ear, goes past your face, along your center line forward. As it comes forward, it stays vertical, and then you switch your attention to the other hand. As this one is moving forward, this one is moving back. You're keeping, and then you get your eyes, and you keep your eyes on this backhand till it's about here. While you're paying attention to the hand that's just moved behind your, kind of into the rear position, the hand that's in the front goes from sort of vertical to palm up. The hand that's behind you now moves back towards the side of your head, brushes your head, kind of wipes off magical, invisible energy from the front hand, and then sort of like hovers there. Your attention has been switched now to this hand, and you follow with your eyes, and as you're following it again, the hand that's in the front slowly turns up, and then this one comes around. You follow with your energy forward. And like I said, there's a lot of moving parts in Tai Chi all at once, and it just becomes a meditation because you're trying to focus and perfect all of these things to just be fluid, totally fluid. ideally, once you get good at it, and if you don't have any medical issues or balance issues, you should be able to do, not should be able, but it's a goal to be able to do it all just totally fluid, without any pause between any of the things, just nice flowing movement. So the footwork for Repulse Monkey is, let's say we're here and play the fiddle. Oh, that was a thing that I forgot. In play the fiddle, after you half step forward, the front leg is on the heel. And there you are in your defensive position. A funny thing about Tai Chi is it looks very slow and calming and peaceful. And there's a joke about that Tai Chi is old people sneaking up on trees. But if you speed up any of the movements, it is an actual martial art. There are martial applications for it. So I will come back to Repulse Monkey. But like, just take Part Wild Horse's Mane. I love that one because it's an easy example. With Part Wild Horse's Mane, if you grab somebody's wrists and then do this into their armpit, basically doing a chop into their armpit, there's a lot of nerves in there, and then you can manipulate them and bring them down. The moves, as fanciful as they're named, all do have martial applications for all of the moves. Anyway, gonna stop being ADHD for just like one moment so I can finish telling you about Repulse Monkey, and then I will stop boring you with all this stuff. I swear, I promise. So we're here, play the fiddle, we're up on our heel, we're in our defensive stance. You switch to a toe stance, also known as a cat stance in Karate Do. You switch to a toe stance, then the hand that's in the back, you follow with your eyes, open to that 45-degree angle, and then as this, you want to be like symmetrical, like think yin-yang and in balance, both physically in balance and mentally in balance. As you're following this hand and it comes forward, you're sliding your back foot at the exact same time backwards behind you, rolling onto that back foot, pointing the toe of the front foot. Meanwhile, your front hands have switched energy. This one is in front of you. This one now is the focus, center of your focus, and you're going to follow it back behind you. As I'm saying that, the hand in front turns to face the sky. Then brush this past your ear. Have the foot come out behind you. Switch weight. Straighten the front foot. Roll the front palm up. Follow the back hand. Follow your focus on the back hand. So, heel stance, toe stance, Repulse Monkey. 1, 2, 3, off screen, 4, bye. I'm just kidding. There's a lot to Tai Chi, even though I'm not that old. Like, I'm pretty much in all of my Tai Chi classes. I tend to be the youngest person, and by far in all of my Tai Chi classes, it's not stimulating. I find it stimulating. The learning curve was really high, but there is a lot to it. I'm not bored. I'm never bored. Even outside of learning all of the moves and all of the little nuances and details of each move and learning their martial implications, there's also, a lot of different forms. Like, there's a form called the Yang Style 108. There's 108 moves. Now, there's the same moves that are used several times within the form, but just memorizing the order in which you do them, to me, is very challenging. kind of learning and memorizing. The breathing patterns are, excuse me, are is challenging. It's there's a lot to it. Like there's always room to improve. There's no like I haven't gotten bored with it yet. And when I was first learning it, I learned it. I was going twice a week for almost 2 years, and now I've just recently kind of started up again, and I've been going twice a week for a bunch of months. Wow. I'm gonna have to think about how long it's been, but since the summer at least. I might be almost 6 months already. Wow. And I only missed one class because my alarm didn't go off. That was actually kind of a freaky story. I swear, I kind of want to kick myself every single time that I go, because it doesn't make for good communicating. Like, as a presenter, it doesn't make for good communicating. And just talking to people, like, there's a lot of fluff words in my language. There's a lot of pauses and ums. I would like to be more deliberate with my speech. There's this really cool guy I found on YouTube recently. I want to say his name is Vinny or Ving. Anyway, he wears bow ties, he's got cool hair, glasses. The way he speaks is very compelling, and it's learned, it's practiced, and he goes and does huge seminars and helps other people become good communicators. And the stuff he suggests doing is simple and straightforward. Things like cutting out filler words like and like. But I find myself, because I'm just sort of talking here, stream of consciousness, I've been finding it really hard to cut those out. Because I don't really know what I'm going to say. I'm not decisive. I don't exactly have a plan here, even though I'd like to. Maybe one day I'll get my shit together and actually have a vague idea of what I'm doing. But today is not that day, friends. I ran out of go juice, so I'm gonna make a little bit more go juice. 30 minutes, I've been talking, rambling about Tai Chi for 30 minutes. Wow. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're here listening to this. If you've already left, well, you don't know that I'm saying this, but I apologize in advance. Is it advance? It's the opposite of advance. Posthumously? I'm not dead yet. Anyway. Coffee. Okay, hold on. You guys sit here. I'm gonna do some serious business. Oh, gotta empty out the goods first. So yesterday I had a friend come over to make pies, meat pies, beef pies. I'm really excited about it. He is supposed to be coming back over today so we can finish, because yesterday he had to go to dance class and we didn't have an opportunity to actually finish making the pies. We made the filling, we completed the filling, we completed the dough. They're resting in the fridge. We used an entire pound of butter for 2 pies, top crust and bottom crust, obviously, because crust is the best part of meat pies. For the filling, oh my god, I'm just drying my hands. For the filling, okay, we used short rib meat because we went to an Asian market. We used short rib meat as the beef. I slow cooked that for an hour. And then, before I slow cooked it, I made sauteed, like, caramelized onions. So that's the stewing juice for the beef were these sauteed caramelized onions. It's caramelized, not sauteed. Sauteed means to, like, jump in the pan, and, like, it means when the oil's kind of hot and crispy and they sort of sizzle and jump. Anyway, and I also toasted some dry shiitake, which is like a secret I like to use that's amazing. And that was in the simmering water. Then he is addicted to parsnips, so we put carrots and parsnips in, leek, more onion, chopped larger. What else? We made a roux. We didn't bring it that dark. I didn't make it that dark, but I made it like, I don't know, like a medium roux. I can't remember what the medium color is called. Like a fawn, I think it's called. More of those filler words. Roux help add flavor if you toast it, but they also, the primary goal, at least in my mind, is as a thickener. So we left it overnight because he had to go, and this morning it's like so thick and good. I'm excited because I want my meat pie to be like super like dense and thick and amazing. I'm excited. I'm not super excited about the calorie situation, especially with all that butter and the roux, which you make with flour and oil, or butter. Like there's a bunch of different ways. Oh, and there was like a lot of fat in the beef. The beef was very fatty, so lots of delicious flavors, but oh, the calories. I have one video about me making eggs. I'm rambling about how to do boiled eggs for like 15 minutes on a video on here somewhere. If you guys want to see more cooking videos, I mean, let me know in the comments, because I'm a little on the fence about doing that. I like cooking for other people. I don't like cooking for myself that much, which is weird. I make food I like. Like, when I cook, I'm usually happy and proud of the food I make, but when I'm especially putting in extra effort, it feels so much better. It always feels so much better when I'm cooking for somebody else, or like, you know, for the both of us, whatever. And it's not even for the praise. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a weird psychological block for me. I don't know if it's remnants of me being a people pleaser, and having like an insecure attachment style from back in the day, but that's definitely a weird idiosyncrasy with myself, of just, if it's for somebody else, like years ago when I had a long-term partner, well, like my first long-term partner, we were together for like 14 years, and he wouldn't make demands of me like this, but if he wanted like pancakes at 3 in the morning, I would happily get up and like make him pancakes at 3 in the morning. Like, that was just like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, no problem. Like, I like to cook, you like to eat. That making somebody else feel good felt good to me. And now when I make fancy food for myself, it's more like, especially lately, you know, because my mood is low and I'm like, okay, I've got to do something to try to pick my mood up. I should do some kind of self-care thing, and it's more out of like obligation of trying to do a self-care thing than actually doing it because like I really enjoy it. It's like I should be trying to do nice things for myself, treat myself like I'm somebody that is important to me, I guess. In my head, I'm imagining you guys listening to this right now, and I'm just like embarrassed about what I'm saying. It's not that it's untrue, but it's more honesty than I'm used to giving people. Even my friends that I've known for like a while, they don't know that much about me. I'm quite guarded. I'm happy to help other people with their problems and listen to their problems, but I don't let a lot of people in with my problems unless I really have to, or I can feel, I guess, trusting them is a bad way to describe it, but I just don't want sympathy. Sometimes I need help, like, so I have to let them in and tell them what's really going on with me because, like, I need help. Like, if I'm moving stuff and I need somebody's help with their car, like, I have to be a little bit more honest and be like, okay, like, I really need help with driving with this car thing because I have no other way to move it and I'm really in a spot and please can you help me. But I don't know why I'm so guarded, honestly. You know, it's funny, to ADHD, this, and, like, change the subject completely. I lick my finger to get a better grip on these sweetener packets so that I can stir them. And when I was watching my other vlog, for some reason, watching myself lick my finger so I can open up the sweetener packets better and make sure, like, all the crumbs come out looks really weird to me. I'm very used to doing it, but it's a weird look. Like, I don't know why I found it kind of disturbing is not quite the right word, but yeah, it was weird. All right. This garbage, the magic garbage, it's so annoying. So it's my roommates. I am not a fan of having to beg technology to open for me so I can throw garbage out, but it is what it is. You gotta pick your battles. My roommate's not a bad person, but we definitely, the female one especially, like, she likes things in a particular way, and I'm of the mind that I like things in a particular way also, but I've also had enough experience in the world to recognize that there's multiple right ways of doing things, and she gives me the impression that she is not of that mind, that there is the right way or the highway. Anyway. How long? About 40 minutes in. You guys want to see what I've been watching on YouTube? Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to take off the ring light. Ooh, ready? Ooh, yeah. You barely noticed. It's fine. This is, you know, slightly embarrassing, but hold on. This is, so I'm not signed in, but I've been slowly training the TV to put on things that I find interesting. I do find, like, day in my life vlogs and Asian, like, what I eat in a day is interesting. Stoicism, self-help, that's the kind of stuff I watch on this TV. On my personal channel, it's more like when I'm actually logged in on my phone. Oh, she almost never talks. Let's go. Whoa, she almost never talks. That was, like, super weird. Normally it's just, like, music. Anyway, on my personal channel, it's, you know, a little bit of everything. I love the Vlog brothers. Hank and John are, like, the goodest boys, and they must be protected at all costs. I love them. I watch a bunch of different philosophy channels, and, I mean, it's kind of philosophy. It's like, usually, like, animation and narration. There's some big thoughts, like Sisyphus 55, and
There's one that's like Turtles All the Way Down, and like Turtles is not Turtles All the Way Down because that's like a, a John Green book, but it's his avatar is a turtle on YouTube, and it's like X something Expedia, but it's not Expedia. I can't remember. He's just amazing. I think he's the one who does Happiness is a Jumper You Have to Knit Yourself, which is amazing, and Don't Hex the Water, which is amazing. And just quality content. Like, oh my god. I watched some Einzelgänger, and I swear I really hope this doesn't get back to him. He's a little leaning a little incelly / red pill to me, and I think he's been. It gives me the impression that he's an intelligent person with great views on philosophy, but he's sort of been spurned by women, and it's made him sort of salty about the whole thing. Friendship and women, it seems like it's a sore spot, so that's why he's turned to Stoicism. I think it was one of his videos though that like Brother Joe, there's like a monk which is just an amazing philosopher that I just kind of like Confucius, very like chaotic but wise, and it was one of his videos that kind of brought him into my awareness that I really appreciate. Better Ideas, he's cool. I mean, there's a lot of them like him, but he's the one that YouTube suggested to me at one point, so especially on this TV, I don't have him on my other account actually, but on this TV, like, suggest him fairly regularly, and like he'll pop up and I'll watch some of his stuff. And yes, this account has been trained to know that I am into Stoicism a bit. Big Marcus Aurelius fan, all that jazz. Coffee.
So pretend you're stuck in traffic. You're super frustrated. You're gripping the wheel tight. You can't believe that you're late for work and it's your first day and you just landed your dream job and it's bumper to bumper traffic and you can't do anything about it. How does that make you feel? Probably pretty frustrated, right? Why though? Okay, new scenario. Imagine you're walking down the street, you're having a great time, you say hi to the lovely couple and they say hi right back at you. There's a Catholic priest walking a little chihuahua and you say, "Good evening, Father." And he says, "Good evening, my son." And it felt really good. You're like, all right, there's a cool cast of characters here. And then you wave at the third and final guy. He's like,
That looks like an interesting one. Okay, I'm a little embarrassed that I watched this chick that I'm about to show you, but I don't know. It's a little bit of inspiration about just like being nice to myself, eating well, taking care of myself, living that sweet, sweet YouTuber dream of self-care. Hitomi Mochizuki. She's very nice. I used to think she was totally fake, but I think after watching her for a while...
Talk about regular spiritual maintenance a lot, like meditating consistently, releasing sacred rage, speaking about your feelings, so things just don't build up energetically. But the same goes for digestion and physical matter. So every single year I do some routine maintenance.
So I used to think she was like super fake, but now it's like, I don't know. I think she is aware that she's a YouTuber and she's doing content and stuff, but I also think that she is being honest in how she portrays certain parts of her life. Like, you can tell that the connection she has with her friends, who she's dating apparently, like, they just kind of, I don't know. I think she is authentically sort of a tree-hugging, granola-eating hippie. I don't mean that in a mean way. And that she actually lives like that, and it's not a fake persona because when you see her with her friends and the type of friends she attracts and the way they interact, especially on like small clips that they're just like mixing in, it's like they're all like that. They're all seeking to transcend the modern society at least a little bit. They're practicing, whether they succeed or not, but they're practicing trying to be more open and in touch and connected with their feelings, with each other and themselves. And that, especially in this day and age, and this is very hard for me, like part of me just wants to be cynical, and it's like that cynical part of me just is like, oh, that's so fake and it's so dumb, but it's not fake, and it is valuable, and I think you'll probably have a happier life even if other people are laughing at you, if you can like say from your heart I love you to your friend and mean it, and not necessarily have it be in like a romantic or a sexual way, but just be able to like open your heart and your feelings. Like, if part of it feels so cheesy, and I think that's just because of like society that I was raised in and I sort of exist in. I'm probably quite a cynical person in a lot of ways, but I I do think there's something valuable there. It's almost like not giving a fuck what anybody else thinks, which is a form of like authenticity and bravery. Just be like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I want to live my life, and I don't care how other people judge me and see me. There's a bravery in that, even though a lot of us would look at it and be like, oh, it's kind of corny, it's kind of cheesy. I don't know. It's interesting. She definitely. It feels like, I'm not sure if she does it on purpose. She probably does a little bit. Like, she's not stupid. There's like a little bit of fan service. Like, when she's obviously very pretty, although she herself struggles with body image stuff, which is, comforting to know that people who from the outside objectively you're like, wow, this person's very attractive, they must be like super confident and super feeling good about themselves all the time, because if I looked like that, I would feel confident and super good about myself all the time. However, you hear her talk, especially in like some of when she's feeling a little bit lower, and you you get to understand it's like, no, she has body insecurities, she's got insecurities about like her skin and acne, and nobody has it made. Nobody, not nobody, but I think there's probably a lot more people who, from the outside, they look like they've got this amazing life and this amazing body, but there are still things which eats at them. And so figuring out how to be happy with yourself wherever you are, not after you've reached some goal, oh, after I've achieved this thing, like being happy right now in this moment. There's value to that, because other people, they've achieved what you would maybe view as like the pinnacle of like, okay, if I get that, that's it, that's like the top, I don't need to improve after that. Other people are there and they're still not happy. So mentally figuring out how to actually be happy with where you are now, or find joy in it, that whole gratitude ritual, or kind of setting forth and like taking the time to feel gratitude about things you have in your life. There's something to that. Maybe, probably. I'm actually thinking I'm pretty sure I heard there was a study that just going through and doing a gratitude practice once a day or 3 times a week or something improve people's overall ratings of happiness across the board after a few weeks. But I can't remember the study, and I can't link you to who did that. It was probably, this is somebody else that I watch, Andrew Huberman, which I know he's become like, the dude bros really love Andrew Huberman, but I'm like, dude, I was watching him before he was cool. Anyway, big fan of Andrew Huberman. Really intelligent guy and very thoughtful, and not like a hyperactive jock at all. He's very very down to earth, humble, and thoughtful, and he's great. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was like an Andrew Huberman podcast that he was mentioning the gratitude practice making a big difference in how happy people felt in their day to day life, whether they've achieved that dream or not. It's like goals are really good to give you direction in your life, but waiting to be happy till after you achieve your goal, it really is a fool's errand, I think. I don't know. I don't know. Ooh, hold on a second. I just saw huskies.
Alright, buddy. When I come back, I'm gonna have the biggest surprise ever, okay? Little do you know what's about to happen to you, buddy. You heard me? I'm gonna your son.
Who's the goodest boy?
Look who is my new boy. Look at him, guys. Look how cute you are.
Oh my god.
So cute. Oh my god. You look just like Gohan. Let's go take him home, guys. He's never met his dad yet. I'm so overwhelmed right now, guys. I've been waiting weeks to take him home.
I used to have a husky, so I have a soft spot for huskies. She was a really good girl. Funny story with her. Her name was Nanook. We didn't name her. We got her as a rescue when she was 4. I think I'll tell you that story another time. But she was a good girl. She was very cool. So we watch a little bit of this, and then I will say goodbye to you all.
Regular spiritual maintenance a lot, like meditating consistently, releasing sacred rage, speaking about your feelings, so things just don't build up energetically. But the same goes for digestion and physical matter. So every single year I do some routine maintenance in this way by cleansing, and this isn't the kind of cleanse where I restrict my food. I'm trying to lose weight, I only drink liquids, and then I have a complete spiral at the end of it and just eat tons of the food that I wasn't supposed to be eating. It's been 3 years that I've been doing this consistently. So one is a yeast cleanse and the other is a parasite cleanse, and I just want to put good things into my gut. So this yeast cleanse is a simple protocol using this Renew Life Candy Smart cleansing program. I'm sure there are other yeast cleanses that you can do, but it's just a pill and tincture every single day. My kind of guidelines for doing this cleanse is not having any processed foods and especially processed sugars. I really want this to be more of a lifestyle pivot and change for me where I just stop eating processed sugar in general. Yeah, in this video I just wanted to share with you what I do, what I'm eating, and how it's feeling. Let's get into it. I made a lot of macro bowls throughout these 2 weeks, and I love them because you can get a diverse amount of veggies and nutrients in here, and they are the vessels through which I get to eat my sauerkraut, which I love. So I'm starting off with this one, sauteing some lion's mane mushrooms in coconut aminos, garlic, and onion powder, and then I'm also just heating up a local...
This is a pretty long video, so we're not going to watch the whole thing today together. I will bring you, I promise, next video, I will try a Netflix and chill with you and see if YouTube slaps me on the wrist or not. I fucking love vegetables. And I've made my own sauerkraut, which is surprisingly easy. That was a lot of fun, and it doesn't last that long because I like sauerkraut. I also eat a lot of kimchi, like a lot. I like the taste, but I also just do it for gut health reasons. And gut health affects mental health a lot. So when things are really bad and I'm really low, you'll do anything, and one of those anythings is just like eating a gallon of kimchi a week, basically, until your gut microbiome goes back to some state of normalcy. What had happened was I had a really, really strong course of antibiotics, and it just completely knocked out my gut flora. And I woke up the next day after taking the course, which like the first one was like take 4 at once of these super strong antibiotics, and they told me my stomach would hurt, and it did that night. It hurt a lot. And then I woke up the next day in bed. I'm laying in bed, and like I lost the will to live. Like I couldn't get out of bed just because and it wasn't because I was feeling sick. Like it wasn't a mood thing. My mood was actually fine before I started the course of antibiotics. That night, overnight, it knocked me on my ass really bad. And it took months to build it up. And the kimchi actually really helped. The kimchi that I got there's a really great place. It's like quiet. Nobody knows about it. It's like my little secret. But there's a place in Toronto called Bloor Meat and Grocery, and they make small batches. It's fresh, and its color is beautiful bright red, unlike most kimchi is almost like a gray. This is like beautiful bright red kimchi. They make batches once a week. If you come at the wrong time, they're like sold out and you have to wait till they make a new batch. And I buy like, here, hold on, I'll show you. They have a recycling program so that you get $1 back, or you get $1 off your next purchase if you bring back the containers. And like this whole ass thing I'll go through in a little bit over a week. Like for a while, especially in the beginning, like I couldn't keep it in the house for like more than 5 days. Like I just went through it. These days I've slowed down on my kimchi consumption, but I will still shout its praises from the rooftops about how much it helped me, and how it was just so kind of like stark and obvious to me, the before and after with the antibiotics. Anyway, I think I've rambled enough for one day. I am over the hour mark, and I don't know how YouTube is going to feel about that. Since I don't have to do any editing in this video, I don't have to worry about my phone churning through the video or not, which is why my last vlog was in 2 parts. And like that was so frustrating. I literally spent like 4 hours trying to get my phone to stitch those 2 parts together so I could have like one longish vlog. But it kept going to like 70 or 80% and then just like quitting out of the program, and then I'd have to do it all over again. And I tried a lot of things like restarting my phone, closing all other applications, clearing my memory so that my RAM was fresh. Like I tried all the things, and each time it was like another like 10 minutes. It took forever. It took forever, and I had to give up in the end anyway. So that's why it was in a 2-parter. This is just one long stream of consciousness. It's going to probably be like 1.5 minutes or something. And we'll see how it goes. I know today was like not that great. But one of the things that I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before is if I worry about making things too perfect, I'm not going to upload anything. So part of this whole YouTube journey for me is getting comfortable with putting out stuff that isn't perfect. It's just like good enough, ship it. Otherwise I wouldn't have anything on here at all. Like it is good practice for me to just get used to putting stuff out there that's not great, because at least it's better than nothing, right? maybe. I don't know. It's kind of like cold water desensitization. It's like, oh, this isn't great, but I know I'm going to upload it anyway. So here we are. Oh, look, the sun came up. The sun came out. Yay. Okay, I'm happy. Oh, yeah, that's the shit. Okay, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye for real. Thanks for hanging out with me if you stuck around all the way to the end. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.